The Proof is in the Whiskey podcast. The proof is in the whiskey.
We are recording. Welcome back, everybody. This is Chris.
This is Eric.
This is the Proof is in the Whiskey podcast. We're back after a slight hiatus and some technical difficulties all the way through. But today we are back at it again. We're having a great time. Both of us have been watching the news lately, and we have some topics that we want to talk about as we're smoking a couple of cigars,
Yeah, man.
drinking some
Day
Jefferson's bourbon.
Suburban.
Hey, there we go. Messing up already.
That's
I guess
okay.
that's kind of how it all goes.
Yeah, man. The beauty of podcasts. All organic. Live.
Absolutely.
Limited editing.
Limited
So you
editing
can-
is kind of
You can get the real Eric
goal
and
here.
Chris.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you thought about that Biden speech, man.
Oh my God, dude. I don't even. This whole thing with I think he's next year. Was it next year we're in the presidential election? It's 2024.
Yep,
So they'll really
2024.
start ramping it up next year.
Oh yeah, next year is
But
going to
he's
be
definitely-
filled with so much propaganda, so much extra shit out there.
well,
man.
and more than
It's gonna
maybe
be
it already
terrifying.
is. So I definitely.
I mean,
feel
the
like,
only reason why it's ramped up right now is because November is, what you call it, Senate and House, and other representatives who are being elected.
Right. Yeah, and I know I've seen like Trump actually like the day after Biden's speech, he was in. I think he was also in Pennsylvania because they
Oh,
have
I didn't know he
their
was in
Senate
Pennsylvania.
race going on.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So, but yeah, he was reflecting on that speech, and he's just like how he's talking. The raid in was that Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago? Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago. And how, so it's like the stuff I feel like they're already trying to torpedo any chance that he has
Yeah, I agree.
at another presidency. So,
I
but
mean, I
a
feel
lot
like
of people
that was the whole reason for the raid was to literally just try to get
Oh,
him
yeah,
on fucking blacklist.
tarnish his name even more than it already
Absolutely.
is. So, and it's
And
funny.
since it's so blasted in the media, and I absolutely hate the fucking media,
yeah,
this is why we started this podcast.
yeah.
Is I just can't stand any of the media just blasting. And it's like anybody who is not watching both sides.
Right.
That's the entire point of having a two-party system. Is this is this side, this is this side. You as the American person, go ahead and make your educated decision.
Yeah,
But as
so-
opposed to that, any right-leaning points of view or any MAGA extremists
MAGA extremists.
are
right wing extremists.
are literally censored and pushed down to where nobody's getting that other side of view.
Yeah, and it's funny that you even bring up educated decision because I feel like if you watch, we were talking about this before, right? So this girl I watch, Caitlin Bennett, right? So she's libertarian, but obviously I think a lot of libertarians would lean more Republican as well, or share more values with Republican than
Right.
because it's definitely more values of like Declaration of Independence,
Right.
Constitution driven beliefs. As far as like the Declaration of Independence, like God created man, every man equal, free, or pursuit of happiness. Everybody has that right.
Right.
And then
pursuit of-
civil liberties for all.
Right.
But I watch her videos, and when I see, because obviously she purposely seeks out liberals, Democrats,
Right.
to ask them questions, and the lack of knowledge that these people have. So I actually give you an example. Last night I was watching one, and it was from, I think it was actually like last year, but it's still relevant. Nothing's changed with their beliefs, and the way these people operate. So she literally brought up like 5 different things, rapid fire. She just would walk up to someone. She's like, would you support a president that would instill policy or, create policies that would lower black and women unemployment? And they're like, yeah, no, we would totally support that. She was also like, she would preface it with, saying that it was like something Biden wanted to do. So this was an interview. It was like right after the election. So
okay,
it was before Biden took office. Trump was still president. So she's like, Biden wants to do these things.
Basically spitting out
Things that-
Trump's actual policies.
Things that Trump had already accomplished.
Right.
And she was just saying, though, that it's stuff that Biden wanted to do. So she's like, this is what Biden wants to do. And they're like, yeah, no, that's totally, I'd be on board with that.
Yeah.
And then also lowest like incarceration rate for black people. So he had what I can't remember what the policy was that he put in place, but so it was basically to reverse Biden's crime bill from the 90s.
Yeah.
That incarcerated more blacks for like non-violent drug charges, things like that. So Trump put in a policy that you would basically try to release and put more people in a lot of the black community back in their families where they belong. That was like her whole thing, and what she was trying to talk about. So anyway, there was that, and there was a few more questions, but every one of them, all the policies, the people were like, yeah, no, we'd totally be on board with that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, what would I do? What would you say if I told you that that's actually all stuff that Trump's already accomplished and that Biden actually wants to undo, reverse, or whatever? And they're like, and then of course they're in denial. So they're like, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. And even if he did, we still hate Trump. What? Like, so no matter what, they're going to hate him. No matter what it was. And my point is,
the biggest thing is
that they're uneducated decisions that are solely based on whatever they happen to watch on the news.
Yeah. It's brainwashing.
Or what other people say.
It's brainwashing.
It's brainwashing, and they don't go out of their way to educate themselves.
No.
They're just followers. They're following whatever they think sounds great, or
it's because they get most of their news off of Facebook, and you know, Apple's got, you swipe over and it's got headlines. Every bit of those, there's not a single right-leaning point of view that is getting blasted.
When it's like
so that's all you're getting is one side of the information.
Yeah.
You can't make an educated decision on one side.
And it's like, it's just like Facebook. So you read a headline and you just comment on what you read the headlines, and then you automatically form an opinion just based off the headline.
Just off of that,
You don't even read the article, and then you see people commenting that it's like, did you even read the article?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So my thing with that would be like, did you even listen to what someone like Trump had to say, or any other Republican candidate, whatever? And I don't like every Republican candidate that goes in there, but I would, once they narrow it down. But yeah, that's just what they do. So anyway, I think Biden's already trying to derail any chance that Trump will have in 24 of winning the election.
I definitely agree with everything that you're saying on there, and I really want to preface, a lot of things that I watch too. Like, I seek out both sides of the information. Once again, wanting to start this podcast and wanting to have these conversations, I want to know both sides of it. So other podcasters and other people out there, Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, he does the Change My Mind segments, where he does kind of the same thing, goes out to a university, a college, and literally tries to sit down and have a conversation with these people.
They can't do it.
And liberals just do not want to have a conversation.
No.
The left entirely seems like they just want to shut you out, obey, or you're an
my
extremist.
way or no way. And then a lot of hate speech, a lot of
censorship.
They
want to censor you.
And if you're a Republican, libertarian, or God forbid a Trump supporter, but I don't even think it comes down to having to be a Trump supporter anymore. It's like, if you're even a Republican, you're a racist. And it's like,
per Biden's speech.
Yeah. Well,
did you notice? I was listening to the entire speech, which was torture all the way through.
Yeah, I didn't have time, unfortunately.
He immediately said, the MAGA, there's so many, it's the greatest threat, and then goes right, it's just a small amount. It's just I'm serious. I'm being serious here. I'm not kidding around. It's and it's like, well, what is it? Is it an extreme terror threat to American democracy, or is it a small subsection of Republicans?
Yeah.
But no, if you listen to everything he's saying, he's like, all right, so if you're a Republican and you listen to what I fucking say, then you're cool. You're cool.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
but if you have any inkling of disagreeing with me, you're censored, you're an extremist, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're
bigot,
yeah.
So yeah, it's funny watching some of that speech. You know, had it at Independence Hall. Hold on. Yeah. Cheers. Take a little drink.
I'm Chris. I'm Eric. This is the Proof is in the Whiskey podcast. Please like, follow, subscribe, and let us know what we
It's a good
talk
proof
about next time.
in that whiskey.
Love you guys. Definitely some good proof in that whiskey.
So yeah, watching the speech, I was only able to watch about 10 minutes of it because I was at work watching it, and then I got side.